Hello, fellow gardeners. I'm so glad you're joining me today because I have a story that I think will inspire you to look at your garden, and maybe even your household junk, in a whole new way. Today, I want to share a happy accident that completely changed how I grow onions. And, honestly, it's one of those moments that reminds me why I love gardening so much. Sometimes, the best ideas come from the most unexpected places, and this one started with a simple act of cleaning out my garden shed. As I was sorting through old tools and forgotten pots, I stumbled upon a stack of plastic laundry baskets, you know the kind, full of holes, a little worse for wear, and honestly, I was about to toss them out with the rest of the clutter, but then, something about those holes caught my eye. Instead of throwing them away, I paused and thought, what if these holes could actually be useful? Could they help me grow something vertically, maybe even onions? The idea seemed a little wild at first, but I decided to give it a try. After all, gardening is all about experimenting and having fun with what you have. So, I grabbed one of the baskets, lined it with landscape fabric to keep the soil in, and filled it up with rich potting mix. Then, I took some sprouting onion sets and gently poked them through the holes all around the sides. It was a bit like planting a living bouquet, with each onion set peeking out, ready to grow. I didn't stop there. I added a few more onion sets on the top layer, gave everything a good watering, and set the basket in a sunny spot on my patio. I was curious to see what would happen, but I honestly didn't expect much. It felt like a fun experiment, nothing more. But to my absolute delight, within just a couple of weeks, I started to see green shoots poking out from nearly every hole in the basket. It was like watching a little miracle unfold. Each day the shoots grew taller and stronger, turning the basket into a lush, living sculpture. What really surprised me was how healthy the onions looked. The basket's built-in airflow kept the soil from getting soggy, which meant no rot and no mold. The onions thrived in their new home, and I realized that this simple recycled container was actually providing the perfect environment for them to grow. Before long, this humble, repurposed basket became one of the most productive features in my entire garden. Not only did it save space, but it also turned something destined for the landfill into a beautiful, bountiful planter, overflowing with fresh onions. The best part? This method works whether you have a sprawling backyard or just a tiny balcony. If you're short on space, or even if you're gardening in an apartment, you can still enjoy a harvest of homegrown onions with nothing more than an old basket and a bit of creativity. So, if you've got an old plastic basket lying around, don't throw it away. Let's dive in together and I'll show you, step by step, how you can turn it into an onion-growing powerhouse. Trust me, you'll be amazed at what you can grow with a little imagination and a willingness to try something new. Choosing the right basket is key. It might seem like a simple decision, but the basket you pick will have a big impact on your onion harvest. Not all baskets are created equal, and a little extra attention now can save you a lot of trouble later. Think of your basket as the foundation for your entire growing process. Get this step right, and you're already ahead. Start by looking for a sturdy, tall laundry basket. The ideal basket should have holes about 1 to 2 inches wide. These holes are crucial. They allow for proper airflow and drainage, which onions absolutely love. If the holes are too small, water can get trapped, leading to soggy soil and unhappy roots. If they're too big, you might lose soil or even small bulbs. So, aim for that sweet spot. Check that the holes are spaced evenly all around the basket. Even spacing ensures that every part of the soil gets enough air and moisture, which helps your onions grow strong and healthy. Uneven holes can create dry patches or soggy spots, making it harder for your plants to thrive. Inspect the basket carefully for any signs of brittleness or cracks. Plastic that's old or sun-damaged can break easily, especially when filled with damp soil and a growing crop. A cracked basket might collapse or spill your precious onions, so take a moment to flex the sides and check for weak spots. Investing in a good quality basket now means you won't have to replace it mid-season. Before you use your basket, give it a thorough cleaning. Wash it with soap and water to remove any dirt, dust, or lingering chemicals. Let it dry completely in the sun if possible. The sunlight helps kill off any hidden bacteria or fungi. A clean basket is your first defense against plant diseases that could ruin your crop before it even starts. Don't forget to consider the color of your basket. Dark-colored baskets absorb more sunlight, which can help warm the soil faster. This is great if you live in a cooler climate or want to get a jump on the growing season. On the other hand, light-colored baskets reflect sunlight and keep the soil cooler, which is perfect for hot climates where you want to protect your onions' roots from overheating. If you don't have a laundry basket, don't worry. Other containers can work just as well. Milk crates, storage bins, or any sturdy plastic container with plenty of holes for aeration and drainage can be repurposed for onion growing. Just make sure the container is deep enough for root growth and has enough holes to let excess water escape. The main goal is to provide your onions with plenty of airflow and drainage from all sides. Good airflow keeps the roots healthy and prevents rot, while proper drainage ensures that water doesn't pool at the bottom and cause problems. When you water your onions, you should see the excess water drain out quickly and easily. A clean, well-chosen basket sets the stage for healthy onions. It's the first step in creating the perfect environment for your plants to thrive. Take pride in this part of the process. Your future harvest depends on it. Remember, adapt your choice to your local climate and the space you have available. Whether you're growing on a balcony, patio, or backyard, there's a basket that will fit your needs. Don't be afraid to get creative and try different options until you find what works best for you. With the right basket in hand, you're ready to move on to the next step. You've set yourself up for success, and your onions will thank you for it. Now let's get that basket filled and prepped for planting. Your onion growing adventure is about to begin. The soil mix is crucial for container onions. Skip heavy garden soil, it compacts and suffocates roots. Use a blend 1 part potting mix, 1 part compost, 1 part perlite or vermiculite. This ensures drainage, moisture retention, and nutrients. Line your basket with landscape fabric or burlap to keep soil in. Cut the liner to fit up the sides, then fill the basket a few inches at a time. Don't pack the soil tightly, keep it light and airy. Pre-moisten the mix so it's damp like a wrung-out sponge. This prevents dry pockets and helps roots settle in. A well-prepared basket means fewer problems and bigger onions. Now, let's talk about what to plant. The right start makes all the difference. Ready to choose your onions? You have 3 options: onion seed sets or kitchen scraps. For beginners, onion sets are easiest, small bulbs that sprout quickly and fit perfectly in basket holes. Choose firm, small sets for best results. Seeds offer more variety but take longer and need to be started indoors. Kitchen scraps, like green onion bottoms, can be replanted for endless fresh greens. Sets are fast and reliable. Seeds are for the adventurous. Scraps are for the resourceful. Pick what fits your style and let's get planting. Planting in a basket is simple and fun. Fill the basket up to the first row of holes with soil. From inside, poke onion sets through each hole, pointed end out, roots in. Cover roots with more soil, then move up to the next row of holes. Repeat, onions in holes, soil on top, layer by layer. At the top, plant a final layer as you would in a pot. Tuck in green onion scraps if you like. Water thoroughly from the top so moisture reaches every layer. The basket will look quirky and full of promise. Each onion gets its own space and nutrients. This method maximizes your harvest in a small footprint. Now, let's keep those onions happy and hydrated. Basket onions dry out faster than those in the ground. Check soil moisture daily. If the top inch is dry, it's time to water. Water deeply until it runs out the side holes. This encourages roots to grow throughout the basket. On hot days, you may need to water every day. On cool days, less often. Spray the sides too, so outer roots get moisture. Consistent moisture prevents split bulbs and keeps onions sweet. Watch for droopy or pale tops. These are signs of thirst. Adjust your watering to the weather and plant needs. With attentive care, your onions will thrive. Next, let's feed them for maximum growth. Healthy onions start with good hydration. Onions are heavy feeders, especially in containers. The compost in your mix is a good start, but regular feeding is key. Begin fertilizing 2 to 3 weeks after planting, using a nitrogen-rich liquid feed every few weeks. Nitrogen boosts leafy growth, which leads to bigger bulbs. As bulbs start to swell, switch to a fertilizer higher in phosphorus and potassium. Feed every 2 to 3 weeks, then stop a month before harvest. Consistent feeding means tastier, larger onions. Adjust your fertilizer as the season progresses. Well-fed onions reward you at harvest time. The moment you've been waiting for is finally here, harvest time. You'll know your onions are ready to pick when their tops begin to yellow, wilt, and flop over naturally. This is a clear sign that the bulbs have stopped growing and are reaching maturity. Don't rush this stage. Patience is key for the best results. If you harvest too early, your onions may not store well or develop their full flavor. Once you notice the tops have fallen, stop watering your onions. Allow the soil to dry out for about a week or two. This drying period is crucial. It helps the onions begin the curing process right in the ground, toughening up their skins and preparing them for storage. The drier the soil, the easier it will be to lift the onions without damaging them. When it's time to harvest, gently grasp the tops and pull the onions straight up. For onions growing close to the sides of your basket, you might need to carefully wiggle them free or use a small hand tool to loosen the soil around them. Take your time. Rushing can bruise or damage the bulbs, which can lead to rot during storage. Handle each bulb with care. Onions are surprisingly delicate at this stage, and even a small bruise can shorten their shelf life. Place them gently in a basket or tray, avoiding any rough handling or dropping. Next, it's time to cure your onions. Lay them out in a single layer in a warm, dry, and well-ventilated area. This could be a porch, a shed, or even a sunny windowsill. Make sure there's plenty of airflow around each bulb. Let them cure for 2 to 3 weeks, turning them occasionally so all sides dry evenly. During curing, resist the urge to wash or trim your onions. Leave the roots and tops intact, and let the outer skins dry and become papery. This natural process helps seal the necks and protects the bulbs from moisture and disease. After curing, you'll notice the skins are dry and the necks are tight. Now you can gently brush off any remaining soil, trim the roots and cut the tops down to about 1 inch above the bulb. This final step gets your onions ready for storage. Properly cured onions will store for months, retaining their flavor and texture. The papery skins and tight necks are your assurance that your onions are ready to last through the season. There's nothing quite like the satisfaction of seeing a basket brimming with your own homegrown onions. Each bulb is a reward for your patience and care throughout the growing season. Remember, the difference between a well-cured onion and a poorly cured one is huge. Good curing means longer storage, better taste, and less waste. With your harvest complete, you can start planning for your next crop. Whether you're planting from sets or seeds, keeping the cycle going ensures a steady supply of fresh onions all year round. Your basket is now ready for a new beginning. With each season, your skills and harvest will only get better. Happy growing! Don't let your basket sit empty after harvest. Refresh the soil with a handful of compost or worm castings. Plant green onion sets or scraps for a quick, continuous harvest. Snip green tops as needed. They'll regrow again and again. In mild climates, you can keep green onions going year-round. This turns your basket into a permanent, productive garden feature. Minimal effort, maximum reward. Share this method with friends and keep experimenting. For more tips, subscribe to Soil Stories. Until next time, happy gardening.